Hello and welcome to my channel. In this tutorial we're gonna do a very easy simple stitch. This is the front of the stitch and this is the back, so the stitch is not reversible. I think this is a very easy stitch for you guys, the beginners. Only 2 rows repeat, very easy, very easy. You can do a scarf, a blanket, either you do with this pink or you do with the white, whatever, which color you will prefer. So this is the back. It's very easy, this stitch. Well, will not eat that much yarn, not that much. Now depends the yarn size that you're gonna use. Okay, with this stitch we're gonna have to chain whatever number of chains you like to chain, odd, even, it doesn't matter. For this sample I chained just 12. It's an even number, you can chain odd, yeah. And I'm gonna work with 4.0 millimeter crochet hook, yeah. So after we chain the chains, we're gonna skip the first chain, and into the second chain from the hook we're gonna do a single crochet, and in each chain until we finish this row we're gonna do single crochet. So you're gonna move to the next chain and you're gonna do a single crochet, and also the next chain single crochet, in each chain single crochet until we finish this row. I think if you use let's say a chunky or a little bit thick, the yarn will be nice, will look nice, well, with a thinner, if you like to do something with thin yarn. I think this yarn that I'm working with now, it says that I should use, I think, 3.5 millimeter crochet hook, but I choose to do with a 4. So now we're gonna chain 1, and we're gonna do 1 more row of single crochets in each stitch. So the first stitch is here, we're gonna do single crochet, and in each stitch until we finish this row we're gonna do single crochet. I think it's nice if you use a bigger crochet hook than the yarn recommends. I think if you use half of number or 1 number bigger the crochet hook than the yarn recommends, I think it's good with this stitch, unless you want the stitch to be really compact. I like with a little bit some opening, you can see the holes. So the last stitch, single crochet, chain 1, turn your work, and now what we're gonna do, we're gonna go through the first stitch right here, we're gonna go through that stitch first, then we're gonna go to the bottom, the first row, and then we're gonna go to the next stitch. So first we're gonna go through the first stitch, pull up a loop, yarn over the hook, go below into the first row, pull up a loop, and then go through the next stitch, pull up a loop. You have 5 loops on your hook, yarn over and pull the yarn through all the loops, and now we're gonna go back into the last stitch that we worked, yeah, where we have all this. So you're gonna pull up a loop, and then you're gonna go 1 row below, yeah, yarn over the hook, and then you go below to the first row, pull up a loop, go to the next stitch, pull up a loop, 5 loops, pull the yarn through all 5 loops. So again we're gonna go back to the last stitch that we worked, pull up a loop, yarn over the hook, go below the first to the space there underneath that stitch, pull up a loop, then go to the next stitch, pull up a loop, pull the yarn through all the loops, and again we're gonna go back to the last stitch that we worked, and we're gonna go below also. So yarn over the hook, go below and pull up a loop, and go to the next stitch and pull up a loop, 5 loops, pull the yarn through all the loops. So you go first through the last stitch that you worked, yarn over the hook, and we're gonna go below to the first row. It's like the space between the single crochets, it's where we're gonna go. And then the next stitch. I don't know if it's close enough. Yeah. So then what we're gonna do, the same. You go to the last stitch that you worked, pull up a loop, yarn over the hook, go below, right there, pull up a loop, and you go to the next stitch, pull up a loop, and you're gonna do like this. I think I didn't put the yarn over. So you go into the last stitch that you worked, pull up a loop, yarn over the hook, you go below one to the first row, pull up a loop, and then you go to the next stitch, pull up a loop, 5 loops on your hook, pull the yarn through all the loops, and I'm gonna do like this. So at the end here, we're gonna do the same. We're gonna go back to the last stitch that we work, pull up a loop, yarn over the hook, you're gonna go below to the space between the single crochets, pull up a loop, and the last stitch, I'm gonna pick up a loop, 5 loops, pull the yarn through all the loops. And now at the end, we're gonna go back into the last stitch that we worked, pull up a loop, yarn over the hook, and you have the last space here, so you're gonna go in there, pull up a loop. This time you're gonna have only 4 loops on your hook, yeah, so pull the yarn through all 4 loops, chain 1, and now we're gonna, this is one of the row that you're gonna repeat, the one that we just did now, and the next, this row, which is gonna be single crochet in each stitch. So the first stitch is here, we're gonna go in there and we're gonna do a single crochet, next stitch, single crochet, and single crochet in each stitch until we finish this row. And then the next row that we're gonna do, these 2 rows, the single crochet in each stitch, and the next row is gonna be the 2 rows that we're gonna repeat until the end. So the last stitch is here, I'm gonna do a single crochet in there, chain 1, turn your work, it's gonna look like this. Yeah, okay, so now we have the first stitch here, we're gonna go through the stitch first, yarn over the hook, and we're gonna go into this first space here, and then the next stitch. So you have 5 loops on your hook, pull the yarn through all 5 loops, and again we're gonna go back to the stitch that we worked last, yarn over the hook, and the space is right here underneath that stitch, pull up a loop, and the next stitch, pull up a loop, 5 loops, pull the yarn through all the loops, and the next stitch. It's a very easy stitch, very simple. Five loops, pull the yarn through all 5 loops. And the next stitch. So the last stitch that you worked, you pull up a loop, yarn over the hook, and the space, it's easy with this stitch because the space, it's so big. Like I was saying that I like these holes a little bit, but if you like to be compact and dense, then this one, then use you know, the crochet hook number that the yarn recommends, and then these holes, they're not going to be so big if you don't like them. So now at the end, we're gonna go through the last stitch that we worked before, and the space right beneath, and the last stitch, 5 loops, pull the yarn through all 5 loops. And now we're gonna go back into the last stitch that we worked here at the end, pull up a loop, yarn over the hook, go into the space below, pull up a loop. Like I said, only 4 loops at the end, chain 1, and now you're going to repeat the row with a single crochet in each stitch. So the first stitch is here, I'm going to do single crochet in each stitch. And the sides, they're gonna be okay and straight. Chain 1, and now again you're gonna repeat the row with going 1 row below. So the first stitch is here, we're gonna go in there, pull up a loop, yarn over the hook, and the space is right here, pull up a loop, next stitch, you're gonna go in there and pick up a loop, 5 loops, pull the yarn through all 5 loops, and the space is right there between the it's a very easy stitch, goes really fast. You can have a conversation, you can watch some TV if you want. It's not difficult. And you go the next stitch, 5 loops, pull the yarn through all 5 loops. Yeah, if you use a bigger crochet hook with this stitch, then the spaces between this whatever you want to call them, I don't know, the design, they're gonna be right there, and it's not gonna be a problem. You're gonna see them. But if you're gonna use the same crochet hook that the yarn recommends, might be a little bit smaller, but it's very easy to see them. So now at the end you go through the last stitch that you worked, yarn over the hook, you go 1 row below, and the next space, 5 loops, pull the yarn through all 5 loops, and now we're gonna go back into the last stitch that we worked, yarn over the hook, go into the space below the stitch, 4 loops only, pull the yarn through all 4 loops, chain 1, and then you're gonna repeat the row with a single crochet. So it looks like this. So this is the front of the work, and this is the back. So if you like, you can do, this is well, a little bit thicker, the yarn, so it looks like this. This is the front and this is the back. Well, I think both sides, they look nice. So I think you can do an infinity scarf. I think even a scarf, even though the sides are not quite the same, I think it's okay. You can do a baby blanket. Yeah. Okay, well, thank you for watching. Have a good day. Bye bye.